Folks, I'm going to be here today to explain about network category cat speed. A lot of YouTubes I've seen don't really go in depth on this and explain how this helps with file transfers, internet speed overall, gaming, and so on and so forth. So here we go. First off, we're going to share with you not really the history here, but it kind of shows the category of cabling we currently use in our homes, in our workplaces, and wherever else. Break this down real easily. Cat 5, 1 gig connection. You get that all the way up till you get to Cat 6A. I enhanced these photos to show this little, it's called like a X or a cross. It's a plastic piece that splits the two pairs. On the cross there's 4 sides, or the X, 4 sides. Each pair gets a side, just so you know. All the way up to 40 gig across 8.2. And that's, of course, you're going to have a device on each end that can accept those connections all the way from 1 gig on up. Which there is a 2.5 that's missing in here that you can get, 2.5 gig connection, which I believe can be achieved with Cat 5 and Cat 6, but they're missing that on this, but just so you know, 2.5 gig. So real simplistic and real fast. When you go and you buy a cat to wire your house, wire your office, wire whatever, you typically will want to get what I call the best one out there. You can go with Cat 6, you can go with Cat 7, you can even go with Cat 8. But the best one out there is one that will have the cross or the X in the middle, and it keeps these strands separated, which means less noise, less drag on the speed. And you will also have the twisted pairs here covered separately, which also helps with that. So optimally you want that plus the coverage, and if you can get this shielding here, which I've rarely seen but it is available, so the shielding, the covered wires plus that, and that cable is going to be real thick and real hardy, and you're barely going to move it. That is the ultimate speed you will get. Now, real fast, the speed. Okay, here's what people are going to tell you. This is what I've heard through just for a minute. So the speed, basically, you're seeing here, 250 megahertz, 500, 600, 1000, There's actually somewhere in here, there's an 850 that they're missing. Again, this is not a total comprehensive list, just kind of gives you a rough estimate. But what they are not showing you is how this really works. So you'll ask a person, okay, between Cat 6 and Cat 5e, if we're both connected at 1 gig on each end, how fast is the data going? Go ahead and ask your friends, ask your neighbors, ask your coworkers, ask them all that. They're going to tell you, well, we're connected at a gig, we're going to get a gig. Wrong. Tell them wrong right off the bat. They're going to be, oh, well, how's that? Well, because your gig on this one is only traveling, and you can make this miles per hour if you want to kind of relate it, but 100. This one's going at 250. So we are 2.5 times faster than this one. Even though we're only connected at 1 gig, okay? And this is where I'm going to bring in the next illustration. I'm going to help you kind of understand this, because a lot of people I tell this to, they just can't picture it, I guess. So here you go. Here is the picture I drew up. Homemade, of course. This is a Cat 5e enhanced, and it says 350 megahertz right here on there. So this is enhanced, which means it's probably got that cross in there like we discussed, the coated wires possibly, the shielding. You know, you just don't know until you tear this cable open. So what really is going on this wire is you have what I call a data bus, which is what it is, and you have that bus that travels back and forth from device over here to device over here, right? That data is being transferred across this at 350 hertz. Now that's the bandwidth. You can think of it miles per hour. That's really the best way that I can think of it. And so even that Cat 5e, and so it's actually over the Cat 6 again. Probably because it's got something enhanced in here going on with a cross there, which I totally missed that one to enhance it, but you can see it kind of closely there. Let's see if we can get that in just a little bit more for you guys. But no, I can't. Okay, so anywho, yeah. So what is really going on here is these buses are carrying the data back and forth at 350 or 500 or 600 or 700 or a terabyte fast or a gigabyte fast, excuse me, and just back and forth and back and forth. Where you're going to see this in everyday applications, as you can see here, the speeds. Again, check your local cable. It should be on the cable. As a matter of fact, you should be able to see it stamped on there, written on there, whatever you want to call it, somewhere. Basically, what this is going to do is going to tell you how fast those buses are going once again. Well, if you think about logically, which is what I am, if those buses are running faster than a 100 megahertz cable or a 200 megahertz cable, then aren't you getting that data in and out quicker? Even though you're only connected at a gig, your data throughput is actually going to go quicker, which means, example, I pay for an 800 megabit down speed. I get 954. And that's in part because of my router. That's in part because the cabling I'm using between the router and the modem. So I'm actually using a real thick Cat 8 cable that I'm pretty sure if I cut it open has the X or the cross in the middle, and also has the wires wrapped individually. I'm pretty sure. But anywho, the thing that I will share with you is you can have a slow dog computer and you can have a quick one. And if you don't have a cabling that goes with that, you're going to suffer. So the real beastie, awesome computer, it can go slow as molasses if the cabling is like 100 hertz. But let's say you're kind of a little bit older PC that, well, it's not too great, but it does its own, it held its own, is running at 350. You're actually going to get a faster throughput of the data than that beast machine will. And this is the thing that people always get mixed up on. They're like, well, that doesn't add up because of my computer, it's all bottlenecked on this wire. That's where it lies, the bottleneck. And these buses dictate the throughput speed. Okay? So in your gaming, you get faster down up speed basically for your games that you're playing, which gives you more FPS, which gives you more accuracy in the game and all that fun jazz. Also, your download speeds from downloading across the web, downloading files like download drivers and all that. This speed enhances it. So that's what I wanted to leave you folks with today. Again, I've looked all over YouTube for this. Nobody explains this. Here it is. So honestly, guys, for your best bang for your buck, for downloading speeds, connection speeds, and we're talking in-house, computer to computer also, over internet speeds also, guys, you get the higher throughput, jump up your cat cable, okay? And yes, you'll have to jump up the cat cable between your PC to the router to the modem, and so on and so on. My best bet for you would probably be a Cat 7A or up, but try to get, again, wrapped coils with a cross with a shielding right there. Top 3. That's really good, really good. All right, well, thank you guys for sticking around with this. Really appreciate it. And that has been Cat Network basically explained. And if you have any questions or comments, drop them below. Thanks.